What's good, y'all? Welcome back to VZ Basketball Takes, and today I'm gonna be talking about the second round of the playoffs. And I'm not talking about the first round of the playoffs because I didn't really watch that round, because a lot of the series it was like just like 4-1, or at least on the Eastern Conference side it was really just 4-1. I really watched the Western Conference, like the Suns versus the Lakers, and like the what's that series called? The Nuggets versus the Blazers. I watched that too. But a lot of the series, oh yeah, and the Mavericks versus the Clippers too. That was a very good series too. But every other series other than that was really just 4-1, you know. So it wasn't really much to watch, other than the Hawks versus the Knicks. But it was really much to watch, so I can't really talk about the series. But we're gonna start off on the second round, and the three games we're gonna be talking about is the Sixers versus the Hawks, the Nuggets versus the Suns, and the Bucks versus the Nets. The second game, game 2 of the Bucks versus the Nets. And the first game I'm talking about is the Sixers versus the Hawks. And before I say anything about this game, I am gonna say that I am a Sixers fan, and to me, we just didn't play good at all this game. We made there's 5 main reasons why we lost the game, and I'm gonna list them off. And the first main reason we lost the game because of the turnovers. The turnovers in the first quarter was ridiculous. We had 8 turnovers versus their 2 turnovers, and like they scored 12 points off of our turnovers, and we scored 2 points off their turnovers. And we were playing very sloppy basketball in general in the first half. Turned the ball over. We was giving it to people that was clearly guarded, you know. And it was just basically sloppy basketball. The second main reason is that we were missing way too many threes. Danny Green, who is usually a consistent 3-point shooter on our team, he was not hitting today. And today, well, not today, but the game, he had a very bad game. He couldn't play that good of a defense on Trae Young, and he just was missing a lot of things. I think he went 0 for 5 from the 3-point line, and he went 2 for 8 from the field goal in general. But yeah, he just had a very bad game, and in general, we missed a lot of threes. The third main reason we lost is because Ben missed too many free throws. He went 3 for 10 on the free throw line, and that's gonna be a big problem in the future because teams are now starting to do a hack of Ben like they did Shaq. They're trying to do a hack of Ben, and if he can't make at least 60% on his free throws, they're gonna continue to do this, and it's gonna be a continuous problem for our team because then we can't score in the clutch time. He needs to at least make 60%, because he's been doing that all season long. On the while in the playoffs, he wants to start to shoot 30%, and like his first 11 free throw attempts, he missed all of them. So that really showed the NBA world like how poor of a free throw shooter that Ben was. So unless he improves tonight, that's going to be a very big problem for us in the future. The fourth main reason why we lost the game is because of the pick and rolls. Trae Young killed us on the pick and rolls because he picked and rolled with Clint Capella and John Collins, and usually Joel Embiid like switching on to those guys. And Joel Embiid, he's a big guy. He's 7'1", I believe like 275 or so. He's not the fastest guy in the pick and roll. You know, like he's gonna be slow in the pick and roll. So when they pick and rolled him, it's like he really didn't have no options. If he stepped up to the mid-range to contest the guy's mid-range jump shot, then it's an easy pass to the center. If he don't step up, it's an easy mid-range for Trae Young. So the pick and roll kind of killed us, and we're gotta see if like how we can guard that pick and roll. Now the fifth main reason why we lost this is because we had Danny Green guarding Trae Young half of the game. And that's a big mistake on Dark River's part, because I don't know why he would have Danny Green guarding Trae Young. Now, not having Ben Simmons on Trae Young is understandable, and the reason I say this is because Ben Simmons tends to foul the smaller guard a lot, especially if they faster than him. He tends to foul them a lot. And you saw in the game when he picked up on Trae Young in the third quarter, Ben played good defense, but he plays very aggressive defense at the same time, so he fouled him right away and got 2 quick fouls. But at the same time, we have another great defensive player in Matisse Thybulle, arguably the best defender on the perimeter in the NBA. and we didn't put him on Trae Young. So, but in the second half though, we fixed that problem. We had Matisse and Ben like switch off of Trae Young a little bit, and Danny Green was guarding from time to time, but it wasn't that big of a deal. Trae Young had 24 in the first half when Danny Green guarded him, but he only had 11 in the second half. And the game ended very, very close too, because we picked up our slack. We actually showed that we wanted to play and win the game. In the first half, it didn't seem like we wanted to win, but the second half, we played with a lot of urgency and we played with a lot of intensity. But those 5 main reasons, we just need to fix those the next game. And if we fix those, we can win this series in like 5 or 6 games. If we don't fix those, it's gonna be a very, very tough series, a very close series. That's all I can say. The second game I want to go over, but not talk long about, is the Bucks versus the Nets. And it should be obvious why I want to talk about this game a lot, because they got blown out. It was 125-86. That was literally a 39-point deficit, bro. And that's really bad on Giannis' part and Chris Middleton's part, because Chris Middleton had 17 points. Let me check the box score real quick. Chris Middleton, he had 17 points, shooting 7 for 20 and 3 for 8. That's terrible. He shot 35% from the field goal. And I'm not gonna lie, in the first game he hasn't showed up either. And I remember last year he didn't show up in the playoffs either. That's why the main reason why the Bucks lost, because Chris Middleton specifically did not show up in the playoffs, and he shot poorly just like he's doing right now. If this stuff keep happening, then they're gonna lose the series. They're already down 2-0. They can't afford to lose another game. Giannis can't only have 18 points. He can't only have 18 points. And the thing is, it's not like he had 18 points with very terrible shooting. Is that he also did shoot terrible from the free throw line. He shot 2 for 7. But it's also that he only took 15 shots. He had to take more shots. Because Chris Middleton took 20 shots. If Chris Middleton taking 20, you need to take 25. You gotta take more shots than your second co-star, in my opinion, at least. You can't only take 15 shots and expect to win a game. You're the superstar of the team. You're the best player on the team. You gotta drop at least 30 against the Nets. And the support on the team, people like Brook Lopez or like Brent Forbes or like Bobby Porter, they had a very decent game. Brook had 10 points, but he didn't have that many rebounds. He only had 6 rebounds, and like the last game he only had 5. He's not rebounding that well. Brent Forbes, he only had 10 points, but he had a very efficient 10 points. He did not shoot that many shots, and Bobby Portis had a terrible game. In order to beat the Brooklyn Nets, everybody gotta play their role. Like Chris Middleton, you gotta score at least 20 points on efficient shooting. Jrue Holiday, he only had 13 points this game. He shot very efficient, but we need more. You need more out of Jrue Holiday. You can't only have 13 points against KD and Kyrie. They're gonna outscore you then. And on the Brooklyn Nets side of things, KD and Kyrie, amazing games. Very efficient. KD had 32, Kyrie had 22. They were playmaking a lot. They didn't even need to play in the fourth quarter. They rested in the fourth quarter. Joe Harris had a good shooting game. Bruce Brown had a very good shooting game. Mike James playing very good. It was called while James Harden is out. And the thing is, the Nets are doing this while James Harden is out. That's the biggest thing. Like, James Harden is not even playing, and they're really beating the Bucks right now. Like, beating them down. So the Bucks need to especially fix up on offense. They need to fix their defense. And I know it's hard. You cannot stop KD or Kyrie, but you could slow them down at least. You could at least try to slow them down at least. You have Jrue Holiday, who's rumored to be a top 3 perimeter D type of player. Giannis, 2-time Defensive Player of the Year award winner, or like 1-time Defensive Player of the Year award winner. You gotta let him guard KD. Jrue guarding Kyrie. You got PJ Tucker, also a very good defensive player. Like, you have all these good defensive players, and y'all not even slowing them down. They're really getting easy buckets on y'all. So they gotta change game plans, and they gotta play better offense. Now the next game we're gonna talk about is the Suns versus the Nuggets, and this game was a very decent game. The first half was very good. They was going back and forth kind of, but that's because the Suns, in my opinion, they offense was looking very sloppy. In the first quarter, you have Mikal Bridges and Jake Carter. They was like kind of like chucking up shots. They were trying to like get the momentum going, but it wasn't dropping. Also, even Mikal Bridges tried to create his own shot. He did like a little snatchback or setback three, when we all know that Mikal Bridges is a catch and shoot player, and he needs to stick to that role. Jae Crowder, a catch and shoot player, stick to that role. You know, those are 2, 3, and D players. They don't create their own shot. Chris Paul creates that shot for them, or Devin Booker creates that shot for them. But other than that, the second half, the Suns went crazy. You got Devin Booker, I think he dropped 23, I believe. Let me see. Yep, Mikal Bridges dropped 23, because in the second half he went crazy. He dropped 23, 4 for 8 from the 3-point line. He was very efficient, good defense too. Mikal Bridges did very good in this game. Even though the first quarter I did say he was throwing up shots, but he still played. At the end of the day, he played amazing. Jae Crowder played his role, played very good aggressive defense, making all his threes. He had like a 4-point play too in the first quarter, I believe, to make it a tie game. So yeah, played very good. Chris Paul, he had no points in the first quarter, but the second half he went crazy. He was scoring 21 points. Fourth quarter going crazy. He had like 11 assists too. DeAndre Ayton, he continuing to just dominate in the paint versus centers. Nikola Jokic, he's not a good defensive center in general, but he can rim protect. He does have a good interior defense, but DeAndre Ayton took advantage of him still. Dropped 20 and 10 on 69% shooting, and Devin Booker had an easy 21 points and 8 assists for him. And Devin Booker not even a playmaker like that. But he still was playmaker today, and that's good on the Suns side. They keep playing like this, they're gonna win the series. But on the Nuggets side, Nikola Jokic only had 3 assists, and that's a big problem because the Suns were playing the Nuggets very well, but still, when you see Nikola Jokic only having 3 assists, you expect him to have more buckets. But he only dropped 22 points. They played Nikola Jokic very well. They gave up the jump shots on him. Like, Aiden was blocking off the paint basically. He could Nikola Jokic he plays bully ball sometimes, but you can't bully DeAndre Ayton. He has a very good body and physique. He's 7 foot, I believe, so he can't easily baby DeAndre Ayton. So he only had 22 points. Michael Porter Jr. only had 15. Aaron Gordon had a very good scoring game. He had 18. Jermichael Green had 10 off the bench with 11 rebounds. But the 2 players that you need more of is Nikola Jokic and MPJ. In MPJ, you need 20 plus per game, and this is only his 2nd official season, but you still need 20 plus per game. And Nikola Jokic, you need 30 plus per game. You're not gonna beat the Suns if you don't score that much, because the Suns have a lot of scorers. They have a lot of reliable role players and scorers. You know, they got Devin Booker, Aiden, Chris Paul, Mikal Bridges, Jae Crowder. They have a lot of players, and they have a lot of dogs in them. You know. So the Nuggets need to play better offense and better defense. They need Nikola to go off, and not even just playmaking, but he needs to go off on scoring too. And MPJ, he needs to go off too, cause that's the value he brings to the team. It's his scoring, but he only had 15 today. So that wrap it up for the video today. I don't want to talk about those 3 games because those are 3 games I really watched. But comment, subscribe. Tell me if you want me to upload more than 1 time a week, because right now I'm only uploading 1 time a week, and I know I took a 2-month break, but I was being really lazy. But now I'm trying to get back into uploading on YouTube. But tell me if you want a video 1 time a week or 2 times a week. Tell me that. And yeah, have a good day.